Now, on an emotional level, the indigo is the master of the extremes, and it can also tend to bring forward with it. Um, I think there's a really genuine lesson that is in the indigo um, third eye, that is in this area, in this realm for us, because it is the master of the extremes. So that idea of, I want to say alone, the word that's coming forward is alone. It can sometimes feel alone or lonely, being in a realm that isn't always understood, being and functioning in a space that, to try to use the words won't always get the individual you're communicating to really understand what you're talking about, because of the amount of feels that happen in the indigo, in the intuitive, in that inner knowing. If someone isn't in line, or again, everyone can be in an alignment in a slightly unique and different way, it can feel quite alone or feel quite lonely. And that's one emotional aspect of the indigo color, is beginning to accept and beginning to welcome or feel into this space of lonely. I mean, to be alone is not necessarily a negative or low frequency vibration. When we are alone, we have the ability to have, I want to say silence, but it's not silence. It's just, it's a clearing. It's a clearing of other people's energy. So you're not taking on their emotional aspect. You're not taking on their ideas or concepts. You're really able, that alone, that lonely, that space within yourself has the opportunity to then really attune you to your space. And you can't, and I am going to say that you cannot in a fully functioning way connect to that when there is a huge amount of other energy or huge amounts of people. There is ways of sharing the energy, absolutely. However, going and connecting into that emotional aspect of the indigo is really about creating sacred space, and sacred space being, you know, within a room, within a house, within an environment outside, where you are just alone and leaning into the love that is there. You do not need another person's love to feel love. It is always there, always tangible, and has the ability to be where we are alone, but we're never alone. Our aloneness connects us to the oneness that is. And in that state, that is a state of revering. That is a state that we will all feel many, many times within a lifetime of experience. And the choice between I am alone or I am lonely can begin to shift again, like I said, with that slight perspective, or that opening of I am in the oneness. So when you're in the oneness, you are connected to everything, but yet you are a piece of that unique mosaic, of that unique puzzle, and hence you are, yes, a piece of that whole, and an infinite powerful piece that makes everything else function. You take that piece away, and there is a lack of. And so you want to take up your space, you want to be in your aloneness, and try to tap into the power behind that, or behind that initial root emotion, because just behind that is true oneness. Now, that being said, this is also the aspect of when you go into, when you're not able to lean into, and you're not able, the rigidness of that lonely or that alone feeling, that can start to create a, want to call it a little bit of a cycle, and it'll create a cycle that begins to create a pattern of isolation, depression, and those factors begin to kind of bog down our psyche. And instead of instead of allowing yourself to feel free and feel like you know what you need to do, and you trust yourself, you trust that oneness, it begins to go the other way.